Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. As you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, we'll be having a big discussion about all of the usable Tenacious slash yellow Digimon that you could use in this week. Now, we don't have a lot of Digimon, which actually makes it hard to play. Like, we don't really have a lot of good Tenacious Digimon. So yeah, that will make it a little bit hard to play, but makes it easy for me to do my videos. So yeah, it basically makes me judge the Digimon faster. So yeah. A quick note before we begin. I know that the video is late and Yellow Week is already here, but sorry for that. I had some stuff to do, so hope you all could understand. And with that, and now without anything further to say, let's begin with our first with our first Digimon, which is Maimon. His main hits two enemies, increase all allies' block rate by 30%, and his sub increases all allies' defense by 60% or 80% depending on your skill level for 3 turns, and his passive reduces the chance of getting the error effect that target yellow allies for 2 turns. He is a really good Digimon to increase that defense in case you don't have high Andromon, or in case you have him but his skill level is not that high. Personally, I have them both, but I use Maimon because my high Andromon doesn't have high skill level, or basically skill level 10 like my Maimon. So he is a very good replacement for high Andromon in my opinion. And speaking of high Andromon, our second Digimon is High Andromon. His main hits all enemies, has a 40% chance of giving shock, to all the targeted enemies for 2 turns, and increase all the allies' block rate by 30%. His sub increase all the allies' defense by 60 to 80% depending on your skill level, and his passive increase all the allies' counter rate by 20%. He's a really good Digimon, and when he's at skill level 10, his shock is also good. Yeah, like when he's at skill level 10, he's good, but his shock percent does not increase. Sorry, I forgot to add that. So yeah, he has a 40% chance to give shocks, so that's not bad. And if you can land it, then you are pretty much lucky and good to go. So yeah, but overall, he's a really great Digimon. But again, his replacement is easy to make, or easy to evolve, that is, and also easy to get into skill level 10, unlike High Andromon. So if you do have High Andromon at skill level 10, I would recommend using him instead of Maimon. Our third Digimon is Platinum Numemon. His main hits 3 enemies, decrease their counter rate by 30% and decrease their pinpoint rate by 20%, both for 2 turns. His sub hits all enemies and decrease their crit rate by 20%, also for 2 turns. His passive decrease all of the enemies' power by 20%. He's he's a meh Digimon, like, honestly, but he's okay for that 20% power decrease. It could help if the enemy doesn't have Omega or anything strong, honestly. Our first Digimon is Prince Maimon. His main skill hits 2 enemies, increase all the allies' block rate by 30%, and has a 55% chance of giving the skill lock effect to the 2 targeted enemies. His sub hits 1 enemy and increase all the allies' defense by 30%, and his passive decrease all the enemies' target pinpoint rate by 20%. He's a really horrible Digimon, like, yeah, honestly. His main hits 2 enemies and his sub hits 1 enemy. He's horrible, and even when the game got released, and people who got him, they just re-rolled again. Like, that's how bad he is. But if you want to use this guy for memes, go ahead. I would not stop you. He's not that much of a horrible Digimon to not use him for memes, honestly. So yeah, our fifth Digimon is Middle Agumon. His main hits 4 enemies and has a 45% chance of giving paralyze to the 4 targeted enemies and decrease their power by 20% as well. His sub hits 1 enemy only and has a 60% chance of giving paralyze to that targeted enemy for 2 turns. His passive increase all of the allies' pinpoint rate by 20%. So yeah, that's basically it for middle Digimon. His sub is not that special, to be honest, and he's my very first Mega Digimon. So yeah, this guy was my first ever Mega Digimon in the game. Is he bad in the current state of the game? Yes, but he isn't as bad as Vikemon or Prince Maymon, in my opinion. He's better than them. If you can land that paralyze, then you are pretty much lucky, to be honest. He's okay, but there are better options than him, and this is actually coming from someone who has him and actually did not release him until now. So yeah, I don't think that anyone would like to release his very first Digimon. Like, yeah, I'm not that kind of person. So yeah, and I don't even have him in my yellow team. So yeah, that's also another point to add. So yeah, our sixth Digimon is Metal Seedramon. His main hits 3 enemies, has a 50% chance to give shock to the targeted enemies, increase all of the allies' defense by 30%. His sub hits 1 enemy and has a 60% chance to give freeze to that targeted enemy. His passive decreases all of the enemies' block rate by 20%. Basically a clone of Mel Etiman, except he gives different effects and his passive skill is different too. Although his passive is better than Mel Etiman's, he still gets the same treatment as him, since his passive is not something that's strong or OP. It's just 20% block rate, not defense. If it was defense, I would say it would have been better. So yeah, it's only block rate. So yeah, it's not bad, but it's not something strong. So yeah, to be honest. So yeah, our seventh Digimon is WarGreymon as the Q. His main hits 4 enemies and increase all of the allies' attack damage resistance by 20%, and also has a 40% chance of giving stun to the 4 targeted enemies. As well, his sub hits 3 enemies and increase all of the allies' defense by 20%. His passive decrease all of the enemies' tech by 15%. This guy is basically the tech killer, aka the guy who hates Silver so much he ended up being a counter for him only and for his calm and tech deft Digimon friends as well. So yeah, jokes aside though, this guy is basically your solution for Tech Digimon. He is good, but not that great. So if you got stuff better than him, like Gankumon or Grand Kuwagamon, or even Maymon, then yeah, don't put this guy in the team. And this is actually coming from a WarGreymon fan, by the way. I'm a loyal WarGreymon fan, so don't judge me, WarGreymon fans. Okay. So yeah. Our 8th Digimon is Machine Raman. His main hits 2 enemies and has a 40% chance to give error to the 2 targeted enemies and increase his own crit rate by 30%. His sub has a 100% chance of making the enemies target him and increase all the allies' block rate by 40%. And also allows all the allies to reduce the damage taken when blocking by 70% instead of 50%. His passive increases his own counter rate by 50% and also allows him to deal 2.5 times the damage when countering any attack or skill taken from this guy. He's basically Dynasmon but for yellow and a little bit weaker. So yeah, because Dynasmon does 3 times the damage, I believe, like not 100% sure. So yeah, give all of your counter plugins to this guy. He will love you and even hug you for this. But be careful because his name is Machine Raman for a reason. Jokes aside, he will help destroying some Digimon if he survives. So be sure to make him survive in order for his counter ability to work. If he dies, it will not work. So yeah, our 9th Digimon is how do you spell the thing? Grand Quagamon. Ah, yeah, okay. His main hits 1 enemy and increase his own defense by 50% and his block by 50% both for 2 turns. And his sub lets him draw the enemy's attention for 2 turns. His sub increase all the allies' defense by 20%. I have this guy in my team and I can guarantee you that this guy will help surviving some stuff because of that 20% defense. And he will help making He will help with making the Digimon avoid attacking your injured Omegamon or any other injured Digimon using that shout sub. And with that main skill, if you use it, since it increases his own block rate and defense by 50%, it will help him survive in more and also tank more for your Digimon. He's a really good help in this week. So yeah, but he will not help with surviving with making your Digimon like survive the two skill I mean the two hit skills. So yeah, if an enemy Digimon target two Digimon, he will not tank both. He will only take one spot. So yeah, that's how shouting works. So yeah, I know my English is broken. Sorry for that. So yeah, our Digimon number 10 is Titamon. His main hits 4 enemies and has a 45% chance to give poison to them and also decrease their power damage resistance by 30%. His sub hits 3 enemies and increase all of the allies' block rate by 30%. His passive reduces the chance of getting shocked, paralyzed, freeze, stun, and sleep effect that target himself and brave allies for one turn. He's an okay Digimon, honestly. He will help with Omegamon in your team using that minus 30% power damage resistance and will also not getting your Omega stun or shock or any of that stuff. I'm not 100% sure if the power damage resistance will stack, but if they do stack, then the enemy is in big trouble. So, yeah. Digimon number 11 is Bikemon. Oh boy. His main hits one enemy and increases his own power damage resistance by 30% and has a 50% chance to give the targeted enemy freeze. His sub hits two enemies and increase his own defense by 50%. His passive increase his own pinpoint rate by 40% and reduce the chance of getting shock and sleep effects that target yellow allies only. Literally the worst Digimon in the game. I'm not even joking. Like, he doesn't do anything for the team. He buffs himself only, and the only thing he does that considers to be something for the team is just reduce the chance of getting shock and sleep. That is the only thing for his team. Like, no power damage resistance boost, no power or defense boost, nothing, literally nothing. This guy is basically a meme Digimon. Don't you even use him. Don't even use him at all. And if you even decide to use him for a team, for a meme, so yeah, may God have mercy on your soul, honestly. May God have mercy on your soul when you are using him in a meme team. So yeah, because he is pain. So yeah, Digimon number 12 is WarGreymon. Oh boy, some people are gonna get offended by this one. His main hit 3 enemies decrease their power by 20% and has a 50% chance to give burn to the 3 targeted enemies. And his burn does 30% power damage. So yeah, it's not like normal burn. I'm not that experienced with these stuff, so yeah, you could go and ask on the Discord. So yeah, they will help you. His sub hits 3 enemies, decrease their block rate by 30%, and his sub reduce the chance of getting shocked, paralyzed, freeze, stun, and sleep effects that target yellow allies only, and also grants you dragon power. The dragon power stores power each time you attack, whether it's normal attack or skill. His skill gets multiplied by 9 each time power is stored, and it's stored up to 9 times, and his passive also increase his own counter rate by 50%. This guy can be okay, but the downside to this is long. So yeah, I mean long. Like, if I had this guy and decided to put him in my team and basically load into a match and go to like somewhere, let's say the bathroom maybe, and for like 2 or 3 minutes and come back, he still wouldn't have 9 power points. So yeah, like, that's how long it will take. But the fix to this will be if you give him at least 50% counter rate plugins, since this will help him counter every time he gets attacked, and this will help giving him power points. So yeah, it will increase the it will reduce the time he will take to get power points, but it will still like not make him better. It will make him a little bit more better, but still not OP. So yeah, don't expect anything godly from him. So yeah, now let's go to Digimon number 13, which is Diaboromon. His main hits 3 enemies and has a 50% chance to give error to them and increase his own block rate by 50%. His sub hits all enemies and increase his own tag damage resistance by 40%. His passive reduce the chance of getting error effect that target him and increase his own power by 10% every time he does an attack. It can be stacked up to 75%. Basically another Vikemon clone. Except he got a power multiplier like Alphamon, so nothing else to say to be honest except don't use him. So yeah. Digimon number 14 is Imperial Ramon Fighter Mode. His main hits 2 enemies, ignore damage limiters such as Omegamon's Tornado Thingy, and increase his own counter rate by 50%. His sub hits 3 enemies and increase the crit rate of Calm Allies by 30% and his passive increase his own defense by 50% and increase Calm Allies' power damage resistance by 30%. He's the last new Digimon we got in the game, and for that reason he got his own personal boost. And with the Yellow Week here, he got the Yellow Week boost. So basically he has a 50% stat boost on him right now, which makes him so broken against Omegamon. He's basically another Lilithmon right now, so use him while you can, because when that personal boost is over and that heal week is over, say goodbye to him, because he will not be that OP anymore. Although his 50% defense boost to himself is not bad actually, so yeah, but still he's not something OP. So sorry for that. Yeah. Digimon number 15 is Gankomon. His main hits one single enemy, ignore the enemy's block, and increase all the allies' deck damage resistance by 30%. His sub hits 3 enemies and increase all the allies' power damage resistance by 30%. His passive reduces the chance of getting shock, paralyze, freeze, stun, and sleep effects that target himself, and increase all the allies' block rate by 30%. Basically the opposite of Vikemon. He does everything for the team and he's ready to make his own team survive. And his 30% block rate passive is okay. It's not that bad. It's basically like okay, not that bad to be honest. So yeah. So be sure to put him in the team for that extra survivability. So yeah, Digimon number 16 and the last one too is Magnamon. So yeah. His main hits 3 enemies, increase all allies' power damage resistance by 30%. Increase his own counter rate by 50%. His sub hits 1 enemy, increase his own power by 40%. His passive reduces the chance of getting poison, burn, and air effect that target yellow Digimon. So this guy is basically a tank, but not like Grank Wagamon. He's just annoying to kill because he's tanky. He will not take attacks for your Megamon or anything, but his 30% power damage resistance for the team is okay, not bad. So if you got him but not have Grank Wagamon yet, this guy will help you. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and also before we end, thanks to Chartus for making the bot that lets us review the Digimon in the Discord server. It really helped a lot with making the video. And now a small note before I leave: these reviews are based on my own opinion because there are not that much yellow Digimon reviews by Riku. So yeah, this time I used the bot that Charts made. So yeah, it only had the global Digimon in it. So yeah, it's in the Discord server if you want to go and check it out. So yeah, that's all that I do have for now. Hope you all enjoy. And by the way, if you want to like get some more help, because these are my own opinions, okay? So yeah, these are my own opinions. If you want to take them to heart, go ahead. if you want to ask more and get some more information, or like make sure that what I said is actually okay or not, you can go on the Discord only. Do not go on Facebook or Reddit. They are dumb. They don't know what they are saying. Yeah, go on Discord and check for yourself. So yeah, I'll see you later, and have fun with the Yellow Week.